What's up, guys? Darth Chris, or Chris, whatever you want to call me, and today I'm jumping into my spoiler review of Rogue One plus Easter eggs, my reaction to the Darth Vader scenes. We're going all out spoilers here. If you have not seen the movie, I urge you to add this to your favorites. Come back and watch it later when you see the movie. I do not want to ruin anything for you. I will say once more, there are major spoilers in this movie. Now, with that being said, let's jump straight into it. No opening crawl. No opening crawl. Kathleen Kennedy and other corporation at Disney decided that they wanted to have no opening crawl to make this more of a standalone, make it seem like it's not a saga film. Yet they kept X-Wings, they kept Vader, they kept a majority of the things that still close it in to that the Star Wars saga, the original trilogy, even though it's a standalone film. So why would they not have an opening crawl when I believe, in my opinion, this movie of all Star Wars movies needed an opening crawl? But other than that, when the first scene you see Ben Mickelson and his character Director Krennic, and he did a wonderful job in my opinion. Director Krennic is it's not like any villain we've seen before in the Star Wars universe. And you see him coming in with a bunch of 4 or 5 Death Troopers, and they look amazing. They still miss every bullet like a normal stormtrooper, but they look good. And you see them come in for Galen Erso and Galen's wife Lara, and then you see her get shot down. And if you read the book Rogue One Catalyst, you get pretty attached to the Urso family, especially Lara. You get to see when you watch Rogue One, you get to see 5 minutes of her at the most. You read Rogue One, it feels like you've known her for a longer period, or you read Catalyst, excuse me. You feels like you've known her a longer period of time. So that the first 5 minutes of Rogue One mean a lot more to you if you read Catalyst beforehand. But then you see Lyra get taken out. They take Galen, and then you see Jen. She's 5 or 6 years old at the time. She was born during the Clone Wars. This movie takes place just a couple years after the rise of the Empire and the fall of the clones. Um, you see her run to this little bunker type thing. She gets in there. She hides. You don't really know how long she's in there. I would presume overnight maybe. And then Saul Guerrero, who is played by Forrest Whitaker, also another amazing performance. Rescue her, and then basically he raised her. You find out later on in the movie that he raised her, and so that's some might say that's why she's this tough. That's why she's uh, as rebellious, I guess you could say. I'm not no pun intended, but um, and another key thing about this movie is Cassian. I loved Captain Cassian and K2SO. Um, K2SO, which he brought in those funny Star Wars moments we needed, that we had gotten from recent characters like Chewbacca and Han, or 3PO and R2D2. All those funny little moments we'd have to the side in Star Wars. K2SO was there for the comic relief in this movie. Some of the things he said and how often he said them might have gotten a little repetitive at times, but just when you thought that a certain moment, a certain little fight was getting too long, K2SO would pop up in there and he would save them with a grenade, or Jin would shoot another droid thinking it's him. Just small things like that that make it entertaining. And Captain Kazian, I think, was Diego Luna did an absolute amazing job. Um, they some might say, now don't criticize or quote me on this. Some might say that Captain Kazian and K2SO are the Chewbacca and Han of this movie. Now I can see where they're coming from with that, but at the same time, Captain Cassian is all about the rebellion, the alliance. He's been in it since he was 6 years old. That's all he's done his whole life. He's lost everyone, and Han is a smuggler. Han didn't want to get into the whole rebel alliance. He keeps feeling himself pulled back into it. He he is a war hero, yes, but that the Han Solo we know and love is a smuggler, a liar, a stealer, a traitor, and Chewbacca is just that Wookiee who's had a life debt with him for so long. But other than that, Donnie Yen's character might just have to be my favorite. He, for those of you who don't know, he's force sensitive and he's blind, so he sees with the force, much like you'll see Kanan Jarrus do in Star Wars Rebels. He sees with the force, and he knows. Um, he can feel vibes. He's not, like I said, he's not a Jedi. He is not a Sith. He's not a Bendu. He's nothing like that. All these crazy rumors going around about him. He's just force sensitive. And he there's that one scene where he tells the stormtroopers to let Cassian and let Jin be, and then he walks up there. I'd say there's 9, 10, 11 troopers up there. He walks up there and takes them all out. Takes them all fucking out, just like that. Easily one of my top three favorite scenes of that movie. I loved Donnie Yen's character, and I don't know if you guys have seen the rumors, but have you seen the rumors going around that Donnie Yen's character and I can't remember the other guy's character, his friend, the one that always came in there and wrecked shit with that assault rifle. I can't remember his name, but there's been rumors going around saying that Star Wars, a Rogue One, a Star Wars story, excuse me, introduced the first gay couple with those two. Now, I don't know if that's true. It seemed nothing more than a bromance to me. Um, I'm I'm not about all that. I loved both the characters, and that's just where I'm gonna leave it. But my predictions. A lot of people predicted this as well. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. Like I said, it's easy to spoil this movie because you already know what happens or basically what happens in this movie in the events of A New Hope. Um, all the characters die. Every one of them die. And I had foreseen that coming. But one thing I thought about, I was laying there last night, and I had just got done uploading my non-spoiler review. Excuse me. And I was laying there thinking, as I was watching Collider, I know a lot of you people watch Collider. Um, why didn't they send? I mean, they didn't have to, but they could have sent Jen and Cassian to after they retrieved the Death Star plans and they transmit them. They could have sent them to Alderaan with Bail Organa or sent because Bail Organa is not on um, the Corvette fighter in Episode 4 when they pick it up. I don't know where Organa went, but he's not there. So they could have sent Cassian and Jin to Alderaan. I mean, they still would have ended up dead in 4 anyway. It's just for the sake of Rogue One not losing all the characters in one little 20-minute segment, they could have just sent them to Alderaan. But you're right, it is more impactful the way you see it in Rogue One, and I do understand it completely. But with that being said, I want to jump straight into the Easter eggs, and then I will get to the best part of the movie. The Easter eggs, if you didn't see, there is actually a scene where you can see Chopper from Rebels. I'll put it on the screen now, where you can see Chopper from Rebels at the bottom left, I believe, of the screen. Pablo Hidalgo did tweet out and confirm that that was Chopper from Star Wars Rebels. Now, what does that mean? That means Chopper survives whatever happens at the end of Rebels. So, and you hear Captain Sedula in the background while you're in the Rebel base. So, that's that's two people from Rebels who you know survives. Is Kanan, is Ezra getting out of it? No, there's no chance. They are not surviving. Is Zeb getting out of it? I personally don't think so. Is Sabine? I think Sabine, Hera, and Chopper are three people who will survive Rebels. Now you've got to wonder if that means we're going to see a little Rogue One characters or story timeline cameo in the end of Rebels because you don't know how Rebels ends. You don't know if Rebels keeps going after the death of Ezra or Kanan. You just don't know. But the picture I'm going to show you now is a scene that was not in the movie. There are several scenes of actually that's not in the movie, and this scene is Director Krennic talking to Vader. You see in the trailer him saying, the power we're dealing with is immeasurable. And that scene is not in the movie. You see a scene of Vader staring at what you think would be a hologram of Death Star plans. You don't really know. That scene is not in the movie. Um, Jyn Erso's line saying, "I rebel," is not in the movie. Um, there are actually several scenes that are not in the movie that completely just. I thought some of them needed to be in the movie, but um, what they did with Vader, not showing him too much, not showing him too less, they did it absolute perfect. So I think it's time we actually discuss what the big story is coming out of this movie, and that's Darth Vader. The third act of this movie. Well, all right. First time you see Vader, everyone he was in the back of the tank, and remember that hooded figure that was kneeled down in front of the back of the tank. That everyone was like, oh, "Is that Vader kneeling to Emperor? Is that Palpatine kneeling to Snoke in the back of the tank?" No, it was Vader in the back of the tank, and it was some Alfred-looking dude, absolute nobody, kneeling down in front of the back of the tank to aware Darth Vader that director Krennic was there, and then Vader and that place that you see him at. You see the timeline, or not the timeline, excuse me. The name of the planet. Every time you go to a new planet during Rogue One, you see the name of the planet at the bottom left. You did not see that when it got to that scene because I believe they wanted to wait. Like, hold on, don't tell them what planet we're on. Let's show, because if you put Mustafar down at the bottom, you know they're about to show Vader. But if they just show Vader and you see what it looks like on the planet, you can put two and two together and you realize that's Mustafar, Vader's castle to be exact on Mustafar, for all you comic book fans out there. But you see one of the most conspiratorial lines in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, as Vader says, "Careful not to choke on your aspirations." The director turns around. Imperial March starts playing. He walks away. He just got done force choking Director Krennic after that little spat they had. Krennic wants to be above Tarkin. Krennic wants to take Tarkin's place. He wants to be next in line. He goes to Palpatine. It goes Vader, and then it goes Tarkin. Krennic wants that place. All right. Then you get another shot of Vader saying, "Prepare a boarding party for the ship, the Corellian Corvette," and then right then you know what's about to happen. You know what's about to happen. There you see stormtroopers and or not excuse me, you see rebels trying to take the plans and make sure they get into the hands of the princess, and then they cut power to the Corellian Corvette. Darkness, the rebels turn around, and there he is, Darth Vader. As soon as I seen that lightsaber light up, I screamed. I might have been the only one that screamed in the theater because when I went, there was only a good 8 people in the movie, and I'm well convinced not even half of them knew what was happening in the movie. They probably thought it was Episode 8 of Star Wars. Nonetheless, when I seen that scene, I screamed. I couldn't believe my eyes. I had figured they would use a lightsaber for Vader, but when it hits you, it's just it's different. You gotta react a certain way. And let me tell you something. This is the Vader we have always wanted, and the Vader we have always needed. After seeing this, I do believe they should make a Vader standalone film. And I know, oh, they're shrinking the universe. They're gonna shrink the universe if they do that. We've already seen Vader in 6 Star Wars movies. It's now 7. Don't make it all about Skywalkers. Make an Obi-Wan film. Make a Han Solo film. Make a Boba Fett film. Um, Agreed. I do agree with that. But at the same time, James Earl Jones is not going to be around forever. You need to jump on that while you can. There's already confirmed a Solo film, already confirmed an Obi-Wan film. You need to jump on that while you can if Disney's going to do it. Because when James Earl Jones, God forbid, he passes, no one can do that voice but James Earl Jones. And then there's people saying, "Oh yeah, you can computerize resurrect his voice like they did with Alec Guinness saying Ray in Seven." They took Alec Guinness saying "afraid" and they took Ray from that. And yes, you could do that for Vader, but it just wouldn't sound right. You can see the CGI in Tarkin and in Leia in episode or in Rogue One, and it's not bad, but it's noticeable. You can see it's there. You know what's going on. And that's what it would be like if they made a Vader standalone film with nothing but computerized voice from James Earl Jones. You need the actual voice so it doesn't distract you and it doesn't take you out of the universe. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, that is what I'm going to stop the video with. They ended that movie in absolute success. I cannot believe how well it tied in to episode 4. Um, if you have not seen the movie, and for some reason you're watching this, um, well, you need to go watch Rogue One: A Star Wars Story at your local theater. Come home and you need to pop in episode 4. Then you need to watch episode 5 and then episode 6. And then go back and watch 1, 2, and 3. That that just seems like a great order to start at. You start from one prequel and then end with the other prequels. First, best to last. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you did enjoy the video. And if you did not check out my non-spoiler video yesterday, you can go check that up. It is up on my channel. And as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and may the Force be with you.